Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. Shanks' crew of red-haired pirates is feared worldwide, and even the admirals fear to face this crew in which no crew member appears to possess a devil fruit or anything really other than just their natural strength, whatever natural abilities they have, and their haki. So in today's video, we're going to talk about Shanks' crew, the reason why they are one of the most powerful crews in the world of One Piece, which even makes Kizaru and the other admirals afraid to challenge them. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel or even if you've been around for a bunch of videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like or even maybe subscribe and leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out a lot and motivates us to make more content, and if you'd like to help us out in a bigger way, consider sharing your favorite video with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, the exact strength of the crew of the red-haired pirates is still really widely unknown, but since their captain is one of the four emperors, they are absolutely recognized as one of the four strongest pirate crews in the world. In the recent non-canon, maybe canon film called One Piece Film Red, we saw that Shanks' crew is incredibly powerful and were even able to take on Admirals Kizaru and Fujitora, making them fall back and retreat once they saw that Shanks had came to the place where they were. According to Commodore Branyu, the red-haired pirates are the most balanced and united team among the four Yonkos of the old generation, showing very little weakness overall and makes them a dangerous crew unknown to many. During the past, they were recognized for their moderately high bounties, and even though they were novice pirates, they were still already strong enough to raid a world government ship, take out a CP9 agent, and steal a highly valuable treasure that even the world government feared. And that's of course Luffy's fruit, which once upon a time was the Gum Gum fruit, but now we know it's the Nika Nika fruit. But just consider the individual bounties, not just the collective. I mean, Shanks, who of course is the captain of the crew, has a bounty of 4.0489 billion berries, being the Yonko alive with the largest bounty in the world. But his officers also individually have large rewards, and we don't know exactly what bounties are ever based on, whether it's absolute strength, threat, or something else, but we do know that some of these crew members could reach into the billions. So even though the bounties really haven't been revealed, the names Benn Beckman, Lucky Roo, and Yasopp are well known throughout the world, and they often seem to have had all of these things happen before they joined Shanks' crew, meaning it wasn't just Shanks grooming people up, but Shanks taking on powerful people, and then through their ability to work together, that's what brought the magic to their crew. I mean, even Rockstar, who joined Shanks' crew right before the time skip, had a bounty of 94 million, which is still pretty considerable for a rookie, demonstrating that the bounties for the commanders of this crew have got to be extremely high. And considering what we just learned about the Straw Hat crew's bounty, this could easily surpass even the strongest pirates in Luffy's crew. For instance, Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei, who all kind of put together have some of the highest bounties among the Straw Hats, only behind Luffy. When we haven't revealed the rest of the crew, oh my goodness, who knows how big that'll get. The first hint we got about the crew's strength came really early on in Luffy's backstory, where the leader of the Higama Pirates had threatened Shanks and the rest of his crew with his 8 million berry bounty. But Shanks and the rest of them just weren't even the least bit afraid of the man, and even allowed him to drink and break the last bottle of booze and spill food everywhere, just laughing all the way through, even after Higama left the bar, showing that he really had no intention of humiliating that man, even though Shanks and any rest of the men in his crew would have easily decimated Higama and his bandits. Later, we saw Benn Beckman take on Higama's henchmen, taking their lives with ease, and telling Higama that if he and his allies wanted to take them on, they should bring a battleship as support. And not long after this incident, of course, we come to one of the most pivotal events in, of course, One Piece, where Shanks sacrificed his arm for the new generation, allowing Luffy to live and follow his dream of being the Pirate King, and at the cost of his own arm, forcing Shanks to train again with his other remaining arm, although this may not have been something that Shanks really needed, and ultimately, Shanks has never regretted doing it. When Dracula Mihawk went to Shanks to show him that the boy he trusted with his hopes is starting his journey as a great pirate, the novice pirates of Shanks' crew appear to be terrified by the presence of Mihawk, who of course is the greatest swordsman in the world, and even kind of approached him very, very cautiously. However, the more powerful and senior pirates in Shanks' crew, such as Beckman, Yasopp, and Lucky Roo, seemed not to be bothered by his visit, and it seemed if Mihawk was just some kind of friend visiting their captain. Another event that shows that the crew and even the captain of the red-haired pirates are quite powerful was when Shanks showed that he didn't fear Whitebeard, of course the strongest man in the world at the time, and being the most honored Yonko among all the Marines. I mean, because of his great fame, unwavering personality, and just absolute physical, monstrous, ability. hockey. We saw that Shanks didn't show any fear by going alone to Whitebeard's ship, even knowing that he was the old rival of his former captain, Goldie Roger. But coming onto the ship without his crew, Shanks just knew that he was able to take out any pirate on that deck, and even ended up taking out some of the weaker ones with just his hockey alone. And so it seems that the true depth of strength of the red-haired pirates is what the world government really fears to see the most. And even though Shanks is the youngest Yonko, he's shown that he possesses, if not surpasses, the strength of any one of the other Yonko. I mean, Shanks even confronted Kaido and Whitebeard in the past. Now, we don't know exactly how these fights went. However, it was something really meant to be something big and really to show that he was respected even amongst the Yonko. Of course, one of the greatest achievements of Shanks was during the Marineford arc, where just after some kind of battle or at least confrontation with Kaido, where we don't really know what happened, but all we know is that Kaido retreated, Shanks managed to reach Marineford in just one day without showing any injury or anything to indicate that Shanks had even been in a battle just a little bit ago. But when Shanks and his crew finally showed up in Marineford, they managed to end this great conflict with just a few words, causing the Marines and even Teach to fear their presence on the battlefield. And let's be honest, the way Shanks appeared in this fight is pretty epic. I mean, he appears while stopping Admiral Akainu's attack that was aimed at Kobe, managing to stop the attack with just his sword without any real difficulty. I mean, sure, blocking a punch may seem simple, but this is in fact something really difficult to do, because if you think about it, Akainu has the most offensive Logia fruit demonstrated in One Piece so far. So Shanks, with just his sword, and we didn't see much in the way of hockey, of course, we didn't know a whole lot about it at the time, but we don't even see any other kind of thing stopping. It was just his great physical strength and his hockey that allowed him to easily stop Akainu's attack. Even the arrogant Teach, who had just strengthened his crew with 4 extremely dangerous inmates, as well as the chief jailer of Impel Down, and was also in possession of 2 devil fruits, one of which is considered capable of destroying the world, and plus his power that can turn everything into darkness. But he still avoided confronting Shanks' crew, simply saying that they weren't ready to fight them right now, which shows that Shanks' crew is got to be incredibly powerful. We've also heard Big Mom's belief that it would take the combined military strength of Big Mom's entire crew plus the army of giants from Elbap, which is of course famously the strongest in the world, and that would give them just a chance at defeating Shanks and his crew. Not a guaranteed win, a chance. It's also revealed in the film that the red-haired pirates have other crews underneath their banner, as if he has his own fleet, but it's not known how many or who they may even be. But according to volume 4 billion, none of the pirates in the crew have powers from any devil fruit. They just use their weapons and hockey and are able to take on any opponent that they're faced with. And one of the things that makes this crew really powerful is really what their captain's been able to do, and that he has seemingly mastered all 3 types of hockey. And even the amazingly great Whitebeard, who was already impressed with Shanks with his hockey when he used it on his visit with Jozu, stating that it was impressive. But also, if he doesn't possess a devil fruit, it means that Shanks put 100% of his attention and time and focus into his hockey, gaining a much deeper mastery of especially Conqueror's hockey that we may have seen yet. If you just think about what happened at the end of the Wano arc, Shanks was able to communicate his thoughts and feelings through his Conqueror's hockey over a stretch of what could have been hundreds of miles to one admiral to get his point across. And that's something we still haven't seen. And so we know that hockey, although really well demonstrated so far, still has a lot further to bloom. To put some numbers on it, it was actually stated in an SBS that Shanks' Conqueror's hockey is at least twice as powerful as Luffy's at the time he was in the Fishman Island arc. You see, during that arc, Luffy used his Conqueror's hockey and knocked out about 50,000 of the new Fishman pirates, while Shanks could have knocked out all 100,000. And like we just said, we do know that Shanks possesses a much more superior level of hockey than Luffy, and pretty much probably any other pirate that's out there, and is perhaps and has often been regarded as the greatest hockey user of today. Something that may have actually motivated him because of who he grew up with. Of course, being a former member of the Roger Pirates, Roger has been touted as never needing a devil fruit. He used and only needed his hockey alone, and that made him able to cross swords with even the strongest opponents. Just to bring up one extra little detail from that Wano incident I talked about just a few minutes ago, even Jinbei felt the presence of Shanks' hockey along with Luffy and stated that such a display of haki was rather monstrous, meaning that Jinbei hadn't seen any other user with haki as powerful as Shanks. And Jinbei is the first son of the sea, he's been around, he would know. One Piece Film Red also reveals that Shanks is also kinda referred to as the haki killer, or the observation killer, because his observation haki is something that basically disrupts or disables his opponent's future sight. So if you think about somebody like Katakuri, who can see ahead however many seconds in the future, and Luffy has since gained that power, Shanks' observation haki is so strong that he is able to cancel his opponent's observation haki while still maintaining his own ability to see ahead in the future. To highlight one of the other strengths of the crew is of course the first mate of the red-haired pirates, which is Benn Beckman, who is the second highest authority in the crew behind Shanks himself. Now, he brings a wealth of experience because he's actually the oldest of the main crew members, as well as being the pirate with the second highest bounty in the crew, being second only to Shanks. And what he is best known for is that Beckman has an incredibly advanced intellect, having the highest IQ of any character introduced in the East Blue Saga, and is a master tactician in combat. And in battle, Beckman is such an amazing combatant with his ranged weapons that he's able to coat the projectiles with his haki and can pretty much hit anybody he wants with devastating effect. I mean, even Admiral Kizaru feared facing Beckman's rifle that was pointed in his direction. So no matter if the opponent uses a Logia fruit or thinks that they can outrun him, Beckman can pierce and always hit his target with ease because of his haki and his intelligence. But aside from Shanks and Beckman and the other pirates that we named, and the other countless members of his crew overall, we know that Shanks has put together a crew of amazingly powerful pirates that really, because of their focus in haki, gives them a distinct advantage, because if you think about it, you could have a great haki user, let's say Luffy, but his attention has also been focused in developing his devil fruit. Now, he's developed it in an incredibly effective manner. However, he has still split his attention and time and ability between those two kind of power sets. However, Shanks and the rest of his crew, they have focused on the one, and through that one power, it may be that it is the greatest power able to trump any other power in the universe, or at least the world of One Piece. But with all that said, my friends, we'd love to know what you think about this. Who do you think really could have the next largest bounty on the, red-haired pirates crew? And also, I know we talked about some of the past, but if there was anything I left out, let us know in the comments below, because we know that there's little things and, more and more we've gotten information about the red-haired pirates. But if you've got something that we may have missed, make sure you share it to our community below. So as we wrap things up in this video, I want to thank you all so much for watching the video all the way up to the very end. Be sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like or hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I hope to see you all in our next video. Let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.